late October, and the storm was heavy, soaking everything it touched. The wind howled through the trees, bending them unnaturally. Despite the storm's power, there was an eerie silence in the small town of Redfield. Elena, a woman in her late 20s, had just moved into a cottage on the edge of town, hoping for some peace away from her busy city life. But something about the place felt strange. It started on her first night. The house was old but well maintained. The walls creaked and the floors groaned with every step. The storm started right after she finished unpacking, and she nervously joked to herself that it was just a coincidence. The wind rattled the windows as she sat on the couch, trying to relax. The flickering candlelight cast long shadows, and the sound of rain tapping on the roof was comforting, almost too comforting. Then she heard it, a soft whisper, barely noticeable at first, like someone calling her name. Elena! Her heart raced. She turned toward the door, expecting to see someone there, but no one was in sight, just the rain. Elena. This time the voice was closer, coming from the corner of the room, just beyond the light of the candles. Elena stood up, her legs shaking. She grabbed a flashlight and pointed it toward the corner. Nothing. The house groaned again, louder this time. Elena tried to ignore it, thinking it was just the storm. She walked to the kitchen to make some tea, but as she passed a hallway mirror, she saw a shadow move across the glass. She turned quickly, but again, there was nothing. Only the sound of the rain, now pouring harder against the windows. Her eyes moved around the hallway. The whisper came again, clearer now. Elena. It wasn't just a soft sound anymore. It was a voice calling her. Without thinking, she grabbed her car keys. She couldn't stay here. The air felt heavy, suffocating. She opened the door to leave, and the rain hit her like a wall. She ran to her car, jumped in, and slammed the door shut. The car started, and she drove off quickly, hoping to escape the tension of the house. But the storm grew worse. The road, usually easy to drive on, was now slick and dangerous. She could barely see through the windshield as the wipers struggled against the rain. Suddenly, the headlights flickered. The car jerked, like something grabbed it from below. Elena hit the brakes, but the car slid off the road and into a ditch. It stopped with a screech. Shaking, she got out of the car and into the rain. Her phone had no signal, and the storm kept getting stronger. With no other choice, she started walking back to the house. The air felt thick, and something didn't feel right. When she reached the front door, she saw a figure standing on the porch. It was cloaked in shadows, its shape wrong, shifting in a way that felt unnatural. Elena. The voice came again, but now it was deeper, darker. Terrified, Elena turned and ran. The figure was behind her, its whispers growing louder, its breath hot against her neck. The rain was pouring harder, and the wind screamed in her ears. She ran through the woods around the house, but it felt like the trees were closing in on her, their branches scratching at her skin. She didn't stop running until she found herself back at the cottage. There was no escape. The whispers were everywhere now, drowning her in fear. Elena? Then, in a moment of understanding, she realized the voice wasn't calling her. It was warning her. Looking up, she saw it, what had been following her. A twisted, dark figure with hollow black eyes, watching her with pure malice. The rain was still falling, but she could hear it over the storm. The thing was waiting, and Elena was trapped.